We live in a world of 8 billion people, yet most of us are expected to follow the same path in life. Go to school, get a job, work for decades, and retire at 65 or even later. Have you ever asked yourself whether this path is really made for you? Does this path make sense to you? I mean, it can't be made for 8 billion people, as we are as diverse in our looks as with our interests and with our desires and expectations of what the world or what our lives should give us. I'm pointing to a 9 to 5 with we all should go the same way, or like we get conditioned by going to school to sooner or later get a 9 to 5. We don't get taught in school how to become independent and do your own thing. The opportunity is here for everyone, but you have to take responsibility to not end up where society pulls you towards. Because if you don't do nothing, society will give you away. And it's probably not the way you want to go. I'm not saying that a 9 to 5 is bad. I mean, if you love your 9 to 5, then that's great. But I think many people say that they like their 9 to 5s or it's just fine the way it is right now. But in the beginning, they had different plans. They think that they simply exist rather than truly live. I mean, work takes up most of our lives. So shouldn't it be something that fulfills us? Many people who have built a extraordinary life didn't follow the conventional route. So what do they have in common? They started somewhere even when they didn't feel ready, understood that waiting for the perfect time is a trap into procrastination. They took action, embraced uncertainty, and figured things out along the way. The internet has made it easier than ever to break free from the system. You need $100,000 to start your own business or open your store. You just need an idea, determination, and an internet connection. Now, the people who have successfully carved their own path have three essential traits. The first thing is a vision, of course. Without one, it's easy to drift into societal expectation, and you easily confuse your desires with the desires of those around you. That's what I mean by system, by the way. It's not some evil people that lead or guide everything. Maybe it is that way, but I don't know. It's more like all expectation, all societal expectation in one word. It's a summary of the common beliefs that exist in the world. That's that non-questioning way of life. It's like you think the things are just the way they are, and you can't change anything about it. That's the belief that you imply if you don't question things. The second thing is that they believe in possibility. They trust in their ability to figure things out. The third thing is that they have consistency and they have patience. Success doesn't happen overnight, but daily effort compounds over time. One thing that many people do is they chase for shortcuts and quick wins without building the foundation. For me, the idea of working for decades in a semi-fulfilling job just to retire at 65 to finally do what I truly want is absurd. Work should be meaningful now. It should align with your passions and bring both fulfillment and resources to support the life you want. Now, most entrepreneurs didn't quit their job and started working 80 hours a week. Most of the times it was a process that started with 30 minutes or 1 or 2 hours of daily effort over a long period of time. Success always happens exponentially. For a long time it seems like nothing is really happening, but that's the most important time because that's the time where most people quit. They don't realize, they think success happens linear, but that's not the case. It's so important to have that dry phase in the beginning. And once you're through that, you will experience success in a really high intensity. And because most people quit during that flat line, most people think, or the general opinion is that Success is something that has to do with luck, but it's just the consistency and the patience and the knowing that success will come sooner or later if you put in the daily effort and if you actually believe that it's possible. Otherwise, you will quit. So, as I said, for a long time it seems like nothing happens, but when success comes, it comes with an incredible intensity. This is the eighth wonder of the world that Albert Einstein often spoke in relation to the compound effect. See this flat line as laying your foundation. So what you need is your own vision, a project, and a plan to make it happen. And this takes time, just as it took years to prepare you for the working world at school. It will take some time to reprogram your mind into the life that you want. A common mistake is expecting instant success. People believe that attending a business seminar, reading a few books, or tutorials will suddenly change everything. But deep transformation and mastery takes time. If you train at the gym for 1 week, you won't have a muscular body. If you meditate for a weekend, you won't reach enlightenment. The same applies to a business or building a meaningful career. Most people chase money as their primary goal, but money should be a side effect of your creation. Rather than focusing on money, you should focus on creating the most possible value. If you focus on how you can truly help others, you create something sustainable and rewarding. And that's what fulfills you in the end. Creating something beautiful, maybe helping other people, or whatever makes you happy. It's not your Ferrari. I mean, get a Ferrari, but don't expect it to make you happy. So please ask yourself, what excites me? Which topics can't I shut up about? What would I do all day, even if I weren't paid for it? The answer will guide you toward your fulfilling life path. Now, the most important skill you can develop is patience. Success is inevitable if you stay consistent and keep going, no matter what happens in the external. You don't have to work the hardest, you just have to keep showing up. Patience will build the life you want to live, keep you actively working towards that life, and provides you with the steps necessary you can take in this moment to move closer to your vision. With all the opportunities available today, are you actually making use of them? Are you moving the needle towards the life you want? And if not, what are you doing? Wake up, become aware of the distractions you expose yourself to on a constant basis, and recognize the self-imposed limitations you've accepted without question. The good news, if your limitations are self-imposed, you can break free from them. And again, this won't happen overnight. You've spent your whole life being conditioned into a certain mindset, so it will take some time to unlearn the things you've been taught to. You've spent your whole life being conditioned onto a certain life path and to certain beliefs, so it will take some time to unlearn them. From now on, make it a habit to, every time you notice you fall back into these old patterns of thought or emotion or action, just become aware of it. That's how you create a space, a gap between your thinking and your actions. Most people live on autopilot. Society functions more easily when everyone follows the same path. From an early age, we're taught to conform rather than question. I used to believe that the only option were school, job, retirement. That was the black and white ideology I grew up with. My life gained real meaning when I stopped doing what everyone else was doing. When I started questioning the rules and designing my own life path. And the more I did that, the clearer it became. Most people never ask themselves what they truly want. I ask many questions and tell things you shouldn't do or what most people do wrong to make you become a questioner. Question everything. Question what I say. Don't take everything what other people say as the ultimate truth, because that's not the case. Everyone either plays no game or they play the short game. quick pleasures, quick success, fast food, and shortcuts. Come on, that's boring. Commit to the long game. Join the winners. I mean, imagine if you wrote every day for 10 years, or if you practiced speaking, meditated, or built your brand on a constant basis for a decade. Where would you be? Success is about doing the work that others aren't willing to do. Time, energy, and resources are limited, so choose wisely on where you invest them. Society wants you to follow a plan. If you don't have your own vision, you'll fall into theirs. So, I know many questions, but as I said, become a questioner. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I truly want? What daily habits will get me there? What am I willing to commit for the long run? Stop doing what everyone else does. Create your own rules. Start now. Your future self will thank you. Check out my newsletter. Peace. And if not, what are you doing? What are you doing?